This video has been out for 7 fucking months. I have been trying since day one to do a video on it, but I just can't seem to sit through it without wanting to fucking kill myself. So here we go. I'm finally working on it and going to actually finish this. Gonna do it in 3 parts. Here is Infinite Waters, Diving Deep. 5 signs you're in the 5th dimension.
Peace, Infinite Waters, diving deep once again. 5 signs you're in the 5th dimension.
Now, this video isn't going to cover the signs.
That's coming later.
We're gonna cover his lesson in dimensions. Woo, yeah.
We are about to dive deep.
Nope.
Welcome to the 5th dimension. Can I get a hello there?
This is gonna be fucking awful.
What's helped me along my journey is learning more about different dimensions.
Not very well, but we're gonna get to that.
Now, before we get into the signs.
Why do you have to exaggerate your fucking S's like that?
Let's take a look at what dimensions are. In science, they tell us a dimension is a measure of spatial extent. So, you have a dot that has no dimension.
You mean point, but you're actually correct. A point is just an imaginary idea to indicate position in a system.
And what the dot sees is nothing.
What that statement means is nothing.
Moving to the 1st dimension, that would be a simple straight line. Now, what this straight line would see is a dot. In the 2nd dimension, what Carl Sagan would call for us flatland creatures, if you are an ant, you are experiencing life in the 2nd dimension.
First, I would love to know the source of that ridiculous quote. I spent hours looking for that shit and can't seem to find it anywhere. Nothing that even resembles it. There is a quote from Contact where ants are mentioned, but it has nothing to do with dimensions. I can only imagine that you completely misunderstood the segment from episode 10 of Cosmos, where he uses the novella Flatland, A Romance of Many Dimensions, by Edwin Abbott, to conduct a thought experiment. He even says these fucking words.
Let's imagine that we are perfectly flat. I mean, absolutely flat. Let's imagine...
And not once does he mention fucking ants. Or that they're 2D, because they're not. You're about to show a picture that fucking proves it. I will link this segment in the description.
You have length and width. But you have no idea of what it feels like to go up and down.
This picture does not agree with you. Nor this one. Or this one. Or this one. Regardless of how far they are up, that's still up and down. And if you're trying to say that you meant height, that's still fucking wrong. Ants definitely have height. They have length, width, and height. This picture, even though it is sideways, clearly demonstrates that. Fuck, your next picture demonstrates that. You are about to betray yourself with your own fucking graphic, ladies and gentlemen.
For that, you would have to be living in the 3rd dimension.
You not knowing that ants are 3-dimensional is definitely a problem. You should not be on YouTube trying to instruct other people if you yourself don't understand the shit. But what does it matter? You literally followed that nonsense up with this nonsense.
So we are told we are three-dimensional beings because we can experience length, width, and depth.
I don't see the problem. That makes 100% sense to me. And it should for anybody else who understands what 3D is. But since you failed so horrendously with the second dimension, maybe I should break it down in a way you might understand. We are told this because those are the 3 dimensions that we could physically measure.
In society, you get a job so you can afford to have a life, but then you spend all your time at work and end up with no time to live the life you're working for.
What the fuck does that have to do with anything you have been talking about?
Any questions?
Yeah, I've got a shit ton of questions.
No, I thought not.